All right, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis happens in 3 stages. As you can see here, the first stage is light dependent, and then the second stage carries on from that. The third stage actually makes sugars. So we're going to go ahead and learn about those. If you will make sure you have your notes out, you can fill these out as you go. So, photosynthesis has 3 stages. Stage 1 is actually called Photosystem II because it was discovered after Photosystem I, which is strange. But Stage 1 is Photosystem II, where energy is actually captured from sunlight. In Stage 2, called Photosystem I, the light energy is converted to chemical energy through the electron transport chain. I might call that the ETC, electron transport chain. And it is stored, the chemical energy is stored as 2 molecules, ATP and NADPH. Then in stage 3, we also call that the Calvin cycle. ATP and NADPH from stage 2, from photosystem 1, they react with carbon dioxide. It's also called carbon dioxide fixation in that Calvin cycle to make a 3-carbon sugar. Yay! That's the goal, is to make a sugar, and once 2 3-carbon sugars are made, we get C6H12O6, which is glucose. Now, in your notes, it goes into stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. So that's what I'm going to be talking to you about and showing here. So you have A, B, C, D for stage 1, and then you have a picture for stage 1. So this is the picture, and these are the notes. So they go together. So I'm going to go through each of these, and when we talk about, for example, letter A, you're going to write an A on your notes to show where it's happening in the picture. In stage 1, also called photosystem 2, water is split and oxygen is produced. So this occurs in the thylakoid membrane. If we can look at this picture, you can see a leaf, and then if you zoom in on the leaf, you can see a plant cell. Zoom in on the green thing in the plant cell, and you see a chloroplast. Zoom in further, and you can see 3 little stacks of thylakoids, which are these little stacks in the chloroplast. And if you zoom in one more time, you can see the actual membrane here of the thylakoid, and that's where we want to land with our stage 1 in photosystem 2. So, back to the notes. Light hits the pigment first. Now the pigment is chlorophyll. It's located in those thylakoids, in those membranes. So we're going to label A and go ahead and draw a sunshine right here and a little arrow to the sunlight hitting this big chlorophyll pigment. Okay? You can label this chlorophyll also. That would be a smart thing to do. So that's A, light hits the pigment. B, sunlight then that's hitting the chlorophyll excites the electrons in the chlorophyll, and now they're going to jump to other molecules on down the membrane. So they literally jump off of the chlorophyll molecule. Now, chlorophyll has lost electrons and needs some. So let's label B before we go on. And here, remember, is the sun hitting the chlorophyll. Electrons are excited, they jump off, and here they go on their way. And we'll see them in a minute doing something else. But now chlorophyll needs electrons. So we go back to C. Water is split by water-splitting enzymes, and that's all we call them, is enzymes that split water in the membrane into hydrogen and oxygen. Now, where do we get water? We get water from the roots, up the trunk or the stem, out to the leaves. So here's water coming in. You're going to label this C because this is what we're talking about. Water gets split by this purple enzyme here. It's a water-splitting enzyme. It gets split into hydrogen and oxygen. Alright, so here comes the oxygen, and the hydrogen stay in the membrane, and the electrons from the hydrogen jump up and take the place of the missing electrons that chlorophyll lost when sunlight hit it. So right now we have A for sunlight hitting the chlorophyll, B, the electrons jump off, C, water is split, and then we have D, chlorophyll takes the electrons from the hydrogen, leaving hydrogen ions inside the thylakoid. Oxygen will find another oxygen and make its partner into O2 gas, and it will escape, and we'll breathe it in. Thank you very much for that. And when we leave off this story, as we label our D, which is electrons going in to the chlorophyll, hydrogen staying in the thylakoid, and oxygen being given off, all from the splitting of water. Okay? So basically, at the end of Photosystem II, which is the first stage in photosynthesis, we have electrons traveling through the membrane, we have hydrogen ions building up, and we have oxygen being given off as waste.